Hey dude, so could I just talk to you about animal rights just for a moment?
Yeah, totally. What's up, dude?
Oh wow, thanks for being so open-minded. I mean, that's awesome. So just wondering, do you eat animals?
Yeah, of course I eat animals, man. I mean, like bacon. Like, have you heard of bacon? It's so good.
Oh well, do you know that pigs are actually enslaved for that bacon to get to you? Just like in short, pigs are bred into a miserable existence and are exploited and fed to the point where they reach a slaughter weight. And then once they've reached the slaughter weight, they're either hung upside down to have their throats slit or are thrown into gas chambers. I mean, it's pretty awful. I mean, what do you think about that?
Oh my god, are you serious right now?
I know it's absolutely terrible what we do to pigs for bacon. I mean, it's just like
No, I'm saying oh my god because you just said that animals are enslaved. Like, how dare you use that word? Like, I'm just so offended right now. That word being used for animals just offends me so much. Like, could you just not utter that noise?
wait. Did you hear anything else I said? You know, like about pigs being forced into gas chambers for the bacon to get to you?
Dude, I just can't believe you said the word enslaved.
I mean, just so you're aware, according to the dictionary definition of the word enslaved, using the word enslaved to describe what happens to pigs is perfectly reasonable. I mean, are you more concerned with the words I'm using than the actual atrocities that pigs are going through for your bacon to get to you?
Yes. I am suffering right now more than those pigs that you just described that get shoved into gas chambers. Please use a different word.
Okay, hold on, dude. I think that what's happening right now is that in an effort to derail from this conversation, you're purposely putting yourself in a sort of offended state to avoid responsibility and to avoid facing up to the exploitation and murder that pigs go through for your bacon to get to you. Is that what you're doing right now?
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to admit that. I'm going to go back to being offended now. I am so offended. Honestly, hold on, bro. Let me guess. You're also one of those vegans that uses the English language properly and calls what animals are going through a Holocaust. Are you one of those vegans? Because if you are, dude, I swear to God.
Yes, I do. I mean, is there a problem? Like, why are we even having a meta conversation about the words that I'm using? Like, dude, yearly, trillions of animals are being murdered against their will.
Dude, the word murder is only for humans. Oh my...
Hey, what is up, guys? So as you can see from the skit you just watched, the subject of this video is going to be the whole, people getting offended at the terms that vegan activists use to describe what animals are going through. Terms like enslavement, murder, Holocaust, and what this all really means when you really think about it. So guys, I mean, how weird is it that we have a system in place right now where trillions of animals are being bred into existence to be exploited and killed, and obviously their condition sucks, and we have people like me, an animal rights activist, that are accurately describing what's happening to these animals, and what's happening to them is actually atrocious and probably one of the worst immoralities that are happening on this planet today. And when certain people hear these things, what they're concerned about isn't the actual substance of what the animal rights activists are saying, which is, like what animals are going through, but instead the words that are being used. In what other context would we hear, a human atrocity happening, and then the first thing that someone's concerned with is like, oh, could you just say it a little differently, please? I don't know. I think that this really does point to the speciesism in certain people. I think that, when it comes to other atrocities that humans have gone through, the terms that people use hasn't really been much of an issue. And for these people to get offended at vegans using terms like murder, Holocaust, etc., is for our point to really just be made that, people don't consider animals to be at a level of moral value that warrants our, moral consideration. And just to be clear, I mean, the definitions are there, and objectively, it does make sense to say that animals are enslaved or the victim of a Holocaust and all that. There's definitions of murder which apply to animals. So logically speaking, it's not even sensible to get upset at people using terms like enslavement, murder, and all that to describe what animals are going through. But yeah, I just can't get over how much of a derail this is. I mean, just imagine if you were one of the animals and you can just for a moment see like an activist conversation happening on the street, and you see an activist speaking for you and trying to defend you and try to convince somebody to stop funding your murder. And then you see the person who funds your murder get upset about the words that they're using. And, also remember these words are actually accurate, but how upset would you be just to hear somebody be so focused on the noises somebody utters when they're trying to describe what you're going through. It just blows my mind when you really think about it. And I want to flash some slaughter footage right now just to really make the point, you know, that I'm making as clear as possible. But because YouTube is a bit weird with slaughter footage, I'm not going to do that. But after this video, I mean, just go ahead and watch what animals are going through in slaughterhouses and just really think about how the words that we're using are being made a big deal of. This kind of thing reminds me of those people who, instead of actually responding to vegan arguments, just say, oh my God, vegans are just so mean. It's like, okay, great. You think vegans are mean? What about like what they're talking about? You know, like attacking the messenger as opposed to the message. So in this case, they're attacking the words and the noises that are uttered instead of the actual message that's, you know, being portrayed. It really is just weird, and like I said before, it just proves the point that vegans are trying to make from the beginning, which is that people view animals in a way which just reduces them to nothing, to just commodities. All right, guys, that is the end of the video. I really don't know what else to say here. I mean, the conclusion here is that people becoming offended at vegans using terms accurately to describe what happens to animals is only proving our point that people view animals as just commodities and beings not worth considering. All right, guys, that is the end of the video. Please send this video out to people who you know who have been offended by you accurately using words to describe what happens to animals. And maybe they'll reflect on why they're being offended in the first place and what some of the internal motivations might be for them being offended. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who's your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid